I'd like to go back to these, what was touched on by some of us in regard to the annual required contribution, the 2.6 million. I have to repeat what I said in last year and the year before. I do not believe that we should be treating this as a subject for one-time money. I believe that the annual required contribution should be part of our standing budget. I know it's painful and I know it's difficult, but we can't be looking aside and hoping for one-time money each time just to pay this. I think we need to take into account this as part of our standard and maybe use the one-time money to pay for things that would be otherwise replaced out of our budget. So that's one structure. Second comment is we have a structural deficit without Measure Q. Measure Q is pumping in 7.7 million into our operations. We've allocated some couple of $1 million to above this to fund the roads. We've got a few other things as stated. My concern is that all these items are very valuable, but at the end of the day, we're not reducing our structural deficit significantly enough. And I can see every single item on this list as being important. I am especially in favor of putting in the SET, adding the one extra policeman. I think it corresponds both to the importance of gang suppression and importance of the uptick in violence. And I support that expansion. I also support the expansion of the support for the family justice system. In fact, I've always even supported more than what is in here because I believe that the long-term investment in the family justice system will eventually pay off in a reduction of the blood and tears cost in our community and translate into a reduction in our crime rate that relates to family violence, whether it be acquaintance rapes or domestic violence, as well as the eventual danger to our police force, which there is a high danger of injury nationwide from policemen handling domestic violence. It's one of their more dangerous aspects. You know, that and trying to find a parking space in Walnut Creek. So my concern is I can support this measure, but I want to ring the bell that we've got to start being very serious about the annual required contribution in our budget, and that we, next year and future years, we've got to escalate the overages, or whatever we want to call it, the bonus, into approaching our structural deficit. I don't want to be here 8 years from now and we're stuck with a decision of do we extend Measure Q or not. It has to die. And while this is a one-time situation of a nexus of rather intense requirements as we try to dig out of the fact that we haven't done maintenance and therefore we have $500,000 in maintenance. We have, through the joys of some of our neighbors, an uptick in gang violence. We have to invest in our police force. We're stuck in many of these issues. None of this is what I would call fluff. But I want us to remember that this can't be continued. Thank you.